Picture two houses side by side in a middle-class suburb of Chicago. They have the same square footage. They have the same neatly trimmed lawns. But behind those front doors, there are two entirely different realities playing out. Meet David and James. They are both 42 years old. They both make exactly $120,000 a year. They both have a spouse, 2 kids, and a dog. From the outside, they are living the exact same American dream. But inside, James is suffocating. Every morning, James wakes up with a knot in his stomach. He looks at his banking app before he even gets out of bed. The number is always lower than he expects. He steps into his shower, and his mind immediately goes to the property tax bill sitting on the kitchen counter. He drives a brand new $60,000 SUV to work. He sits in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the I-90 for an hour and a half each way. His back hurts from the stress. His eyes are heavy from the lack of sleep. Next door, David wakes up, makes coffee, and reads the news. David drives a 7-year-old sedan that he paid off 4 years ago. David leaves for work at the exact same time, sits in the exact same traffic, but his heart rate is completely normal. Why is James panicking while David is calm? Because your 40s are the exact moment the math of your past catches up to you. Let us do a brutal breakdown of James and his brand new SUV. James thinks he bought a car. He actually signed away a massive chunk of his remaining youth. The SUV cost $60,000, but James did not have $60,000 in cash, so he financed it through the very nice guy at the dealership. With a 7% interest rate over 72 months, James is actually paying over $73,000 for that car. Now, let us convert that into what really matters. Let us convert that into hours of human life. James brings home roughly $35 an hour after taxes and deductions. To pay for that single vehicle, James has to work over 2,080 hours. That is more than an entire year of his life. He will spend 1 full year dealing with useless corporate meetings. He will spend 1 full year swallowing his pride when his boss yells at him. He will spend 1 full year away from his kids, just to pay for the metal box he uses to drive to the job he hates. If that number just gave you a punch to the gut, subscribe to this channel right now. Here we do not talk about miracle crypto investments. We talk about stopping the financial fraud you commit against yourself every single day. James is a textbook victim of the poverty premium. The poverty premium is the fact that it costs a lot more money to be broke. Let us look at a simple everyday example. Last winter, the water heater broke in both houses. David had an emergency fund. He called a plumber, paid $1,200 in cash, and went about his day. James did not have the cash because his money is tied up in car payments and credit cards. So James financed the water heater through the plumbing company. He got hit with a 29% interest rate on a store credit card. He only pays the minimum balance because things are tight this month. By the time James actually pays off that water heater, it will cost him nearly $3,000. James literally paid more than double for the exact same hot water. He buys the cheap work shoes from the discount store for $50. They fall apart in 6 months because the quality is garbage. David buys the good boots for $200, and they last him 5 years. In those 5 years, James buys 10 pairs of cheap shoes. James spends $500 to get the exact same result David got for $200. This happens with tires, it happens with appliances, it happens with food. Because James has no free cash flow, he is constantly paying a premium just to survive. I know exactly how this feels. I have sat in that same traffic. I have gripped the steering wheel, exhausted, wondering where the hell my paycheck went. I remember looking at my bank statement and feeling like I was just an ATM for everyone else. The mortgage company takes their cut. The insurance company takes their cut. The grocery store takes double what they took 3 years ago because of silent inflation. And who is left to blame? We usually blame ourselves. But you need to look at the nice guy at the bank who gave you that loan. He smiled at you, shook your hand, and congratulated you on your new car. He is not your friend. He is a salesman, and you are the product. Look at the mutual fund manager handling your 401k. They hide a 1.5% administrative fee deep in the paperwork you signed on your first day of work. You think 1.5% is nothing, but over 30 years, that tiny fee will eat up hundreds of thousands of dollars of your potential retirement money. They steal your future right in front of your face, legally. They sold James the biggest lie in the modern financial system, the lie of the good credit score. James is incredibly proud of his 780 credit score. He thinks it means he is winning with money. But a credit score is not a wealth score. It is an obedience score. It simply measures how profitable you are to the banks. It proves you are fantastic at borrowing money and paying them interest on time. It means you are the perfect customer for their debt products. David has a good credit score too, but he does not care. David uses his cash to buy assets, while James uses his credit to buy liabilities. If you felt a wave of anger looking at this math, hit the like button right now. Anger is good. Anger is the very first step toward financial efficiency. We call this trap the middle-age squeeze protocol. It happens in your 40s because your income has finally gone up. You get the promotion. You get the raise, but your lifestyle creeps up exactly at the same pace. You think you deserve the nicer house. You think you deserve the luxury vacations because you work so hard, but you are just increasing the weight of the chains around your ankles. Every time you upgrade your lifestyle on credit, you are pushing your retirement date back by another 3 years. You are guaranteeing that you will be sitting in a cubicle when you are 65. Your gross salary is an illusion designed to keep you pacified. You look at your pay stub and see $10,000 a month gross. You feel rich for about 10 seconds. Then the taxes vanish. Then the health insurance vanishes. Then the 401k contribution vanishes. By the time the money actually hits your checking account, it is $6,000. And that $6,000 has to cover the mortgage, the groceries, and the gas. Today, I want you to do something uncomfortable. Take a piece of paper and write down your true take-home pay. Then subtract your rent or mortgage. Subtract your car payment. Subtract your insurance. Subtract the money you spend on gas just to commute to work. Subtract the money you spend on quick lunches because you are too tired to cook. Calculate how much money actually belongs to you at the end of the month. The money that is not promised to a bank or a corporation. The result is going to terrify you. It will show you exactly how close to the edge you really are. If this reality check opened your eyes, send this to that coworker who always complains about being exhausted. We have to stop pretending this is normal. We have to break out of this hamster wheel together. Write, "I understand the game" in the comments to signal the algorithm that you finally woke up. Let us talk about the biggest lie you were ever sold. The lie that kicks into high gear the moment you celebrate your 40th birthday. You probably blew out the candles, looked at your bank app, and felt a quiet panic. You followed the rules. You went to college. You got the corporate job. You set up your 401k. You did exactly what the brochure from Human Resources told you to do. But let us look at the reality. Let me introduce you to David. David is 42 years old. He works as a regional sales manager. He makes $120,000 a year. On paper, David is living the American dream. He has a nice house with a perfectly manicured lawn. He drives a leased crossover because he needs to look successful in traffic. But let us look at his actual life. David wakes up exhausted. His back hurts from sitting in endless Zoom meetings. He checks his retirement account and sees $200,000. He thinks he is doing okay. He thinks Wall Street is taking care of him. This is what I call the Wall Street trap. It is the brilliant illusion designed to keep you working until your knees give out. Let us break down the brutal math behind David and his retirement fund. David thinks his money is growing for him. He does not realize he is paying the invisible 20% rule. Look at the target date mutual fund his company forced him into. It has an expense ratio of 1.2%, plus an administrative fee, plus a management fee from the friendly broker who buys him golf tickets once a year. Wall Street tells David that 1.5% in total fees is basically nothing. It sounds like pennies. But let us convert that into what it really is: hours of human life. Over 25 years, that tiny percentage will eat almost 30% of David's total wealth. Wall Street is not taking 30% of his profit. They are taking 30% of his total nest egg. For David, 30% of his target retirement goal equals roughly $300,000. Now divide that by his actual hourly take-home pay. David is giving Wall Street over 5,000 hours of his actual life, 5,000 hours of sitting in traffic on the interstate, 5,000 hours of missing his kids playing soccer, 5,000 hours of putting up with a boss he secretly despises. He is doing all of this just to pay the fund manager's mortgage in the Hamptons. This is not an accident. This is how the financial industry extracts your time without you ever noticing. You think you are investing, but you are just an uncompensated employee for a massive asset management firm. Let us step back and look at the boots you are wearing. You probably know the Sam Vimes boots theory. It says that it is expensive to be poor. A poor man buys $50 boots that leak after a year. A rich man buys $200 boots that last a decade. Over 10 years, the poor man spends $500 on bad boots and still has wet feet. Wall Street applies this exact same poverty premium to the middle class. Because David does not have $5 million to access private equity or direct real estate, he is forced to buy retail mutual funds. He is buying the cheap boots of the financial world. He gets the mass-market products loaded with hidden costs. The wealthy do not pay 1.5% to ride a market index. They own the assets directly. They bypass the toll booth entirely. David pays the toll booth every single day, and the toll is collected in the form of his remaining youth. Your 40s are the exact moment this trap snaps shut. In your 20s, you have time. In your 30s, you are busy surviving diapers and mortgages. But at 40, the math gets extremely unforgiving. You look at the calendar and realize you only have 20 earning years left. The bank knows this. Your credit card company knows this. The marketing algorithms know this. This is exactly when they sell you the midlife crisis upgrade. They tell you that you deserve the boat. They tell you that you deserve the kitchen remodel. They tell you to take out a home equity line of credit because your house went up in value. Let me be very clear about that home equity loan. It is a scam designed to reset your debt clock. You finally paid down 10 years of your mortgage. You finally started touching the principal balance. Then the bank manager, the guy who smiles at you and remembers your dog's name, offers you a line of credit. He says you can unlock the equity in your home. You are not unlocking anything. You are just selling your future weekends back to the bank. You are taking the only real asset you have and turning it into a new monthly payment. We call this the convenience tax. You pay for the convenience of having a shiny new kitchen today, using money you have not even earned yet. I guarantee that this exact scenario has crossed your mind recently. You feel the pressure to keep up with the neighbors. But the neighbors are broke too. They are just hiding it behind a higher credit limit. Let us talk about what happens if you do not wake up right now. If you keep trusting the traditional script, you will reach 65. You will get your gold watch or your generic corporate plaque. You will log into your retirement account, and you will find out that inflation ate half your purchasing power. The government printed trillions of dollars while you were busy answering emails. The price of groceries doubled. The property taxes on your fully paid house skyrocketed. You will realize that $1 million today is what $300,000 used to be. You will be forced to work as a greeter at a hardware store when your back already hurts. I am telling you this because I have seen it happen thousands of times. I see guys like David in their 60s, looking confused. They followed every rule. They signed every paper the broker put in front of them, and the money simply vanished into the system. If this math just hit you like a punch to the gut, subscribe to this channel. Here we do not talk about miraculous overnight wealth. We talk about stopping the fraud you commit against yourself every day. We talk about cutting the leeches off your paycheck. We need to look at your daily habits. Why are you paying a financial advisor who underperforms a basic index fund? Why are you carrying a car note that costs more than your first apartment? You are subsidizing a massive machine that does not care if you die tired. I want you to imagine a different scenario. Imagine keeping that 30% for yourself. Imagine buying back 5,000 hours of your life. Imagine looking at your boss at age 50 and knowing you do not actually need his paycheck. That is what financial sovereignty looks like. It is not about buying an exotic sports car. It is about waking up on a Tuesday and deciding what you want to do with your own time. It is about removing the chains you voluntarily put on your own wrists. If you are angry right now, hit the like button. Anger is good. Anger is the very first step toward efficiency. You have to be mad enough at the money that disappears from your account to actually do something about it. The traditional Wall Street retirement plan is a relic of the 1980s. It was designed for a world where inflation was predictable and job security was real. That world is dead. You are playing a modern game with rules written 40 years ago. The system wants you comfortable enough to keep working, but broke enough to never quit. You are the battery for their economy. They extract your energy, your stress, and your youth and convert it into corporate profits. But you can choose to unplug. You can choose to stop buying the expensive poor man's boots. You can fire the fund managers. You can stop financing depreciation. Your 40s are the last exit on this highway before the toll becomes too high to pay. Do not let them steal another decade from you. You are the architect of your life, not a piece of equipment on their assembly line. Today, open your retirement statements. Find the line that says expense ratio. Calculate exactly how many thousands of dollars you are losing to the guys in expensive suits. Write, "I am the architect," in the comments to signal that you have taken back control. Look at the screen right now. You are in your 40s. Your back aches a little more when you get out of the car. Your patience for useless corporate meetings is completely gone. But you still log in every single morning. You still sit in dead traffic on Interstate 95. Why do you do it? Because the bank tells you that you have to. You make more money now than you ever did in your 20s. But somehow, your checking account feels exactly the same. It hits zero just before payday. This is what I call the fraud of the working class. Let me introduce you to Michael. Michael is 43 years old. He brings home $120,000 a year. He wears a nice shirt and drives a mid-size SUV, but Michael is sweating inside. He is financing his own exhaustion. He buys the quick fix every single day because he is simply too tired to do anything else. This is the Sam Vimes boots theory, but applied to the modern professional. Michael does not buy cheap boots. He buys cheap time. He pays $30 for food delivery because the commute drained his soul. He pays $600 a month for a car lease because he needs something reliable to get to a job he hates. He pays 2% in management fees to a guy named Todd. Todd wears a nice fleece vest and tells Michael his 401k is doing just fine. Todd is getting rich off Michael's fatigue. Let us do the math. It is time for a brutal reality check. Grab a pen right now. Write down exactly how much you make an hour after taxes. Now look at that $70 takeout dinner you ordered last night. Look at the $600 car payment. Look at the $2,000 in credit card interest you paid last year. How many hours of your life did you just give away? For Michael, that car payment is 10 hours of dealing with his micromanaging boss. He traded 2 entire days of his life this month just to rent a piece of metal to drive to work. He traded 5 hours of his life just to pay Todd to lose his money in bad mutual funds. This is the convenience tax. You pay it because you are completely drained. You are drained because you have to work to pay the convenience tax. It is a brilliant business model for Wall Street. It is an absolute disaster for you. If this math just gave you a punch in the stomach, subscribe to this channel. Here, we do not talk about miracle investments. We talk about stopping the fraud you commit against yourself. Your 40s are the ultimate tipping point. If you mess up your 20s, you have time to heal. If you mess up your 30s, you can still recover. If you bleed cash in your 40s, you will work until you die. It is not bad luck. It is just math. They sold you a package of absolute lies. They told you a high credit score means you are winning at life. A high credit score just means you are highly profitable to Visa and MasterCard. They told you your primary home is a brilliant investment. It is not an investment if it constantly drains your cash flow for a new roof, property taxes, and interest. They told you to just max out your retirement account and never look at the fees. That is exactly what Todd wants you to do. Todd wants you blind. He wants you too busy arguing over spreadsheets at work to look at your own bank spreadsheets at home. When you do not look, Todd takes his cut. The marketing agencies take their cut. They create fake needs to extract your real wages. You suddenly need a kitchen remodel because a guy on television said your cabinets look dated. You need to finance a vacation to Florida because social media says your kids deserve it. You do not even own your paycheck anymore. Everybody else owns a piece of it before it ever hits your bank account. So here is the sober task for today. I want you to sit down tonight at your kitchen table. I do not care if you are tired. I do not care if the football game is on. Open your laptop and pull up your last 3 months of bank statements. Print them out. Yes, physically print them on actual paper. Get a red pen. I want you to circle every single dollar that went to convenience. Circle the delivery fees. Circle the interest payments. Circle the streaming subscriptions you forgot you had. Circle the management fees hidden in your retirement portfolio. Look at the final total. Convert that total into hours of work. How many weeks did you work for free this year? How many months of your life did you hand over to people who do not care if you drop dead tomorrow? The result will terrify you. If you are angry about this calculation, leave a like right now. Anger is the very first step to efficiency. You cannot fix what you do not hate. You have to hate the waste. You have to hate the fact that Todd is buying a boat with your money. Now we build the escape plan. It is not complicated, but it is brutal. Rule number 1 is plugging the holes immediately. You stop buying the illusion of status. Nobody cares about the logo on your steering wheel. The guy in the lane next to you on the highway is just as miserable and broke as you are. You sell the depreciating assets. You fire the financial advisor who charges you an assets under management fee just to put your money in an index fund. You can buy that exact same index fund yourself for $3. Rule number 2 is the rule of the invisible 20%. You are going to take 20% of your income and make it disappear before you ever see it. Not into a black box managed by a bank. Into low-cost, broad market funds that you completely control. You are going to become your own bank. Rule number 3 is reclaiming your time. Stop saying yes to things that cost you money and bring you zero joy. Your 40s are not the time to impress your neighbors. Your 40s are the time to build a fortress. You need a massive margin of safety. If you lose your job tomorrow, you should not feel panic. You should feel a profound sense of relief. That is what a real emergency fund buys you. It buys you the ability to tell your boss the truth. It buys you the option to walk away without a second thought. That is the only true wealth in this world. The ability to wake up on a Tuesday morning and decide exactly what you want to do. I know how heavy the corporate badge feels around your neck. I have sat in that exact same traffic. I have looked at that same negative balance and wondered where it all went. But you have a choice right now. You can close this video and go back to sleep. You can go back to financing Todd's lifestyle. Or you can draw a hard line in the sand today. If this video opened your eyes, send it to that coworker who is always exhausted. Let us get out of this hamster wheel together. Write, "I am the architect," in the comments to signal that you have taken back control.